I entered my own entrepreneurial journey way back in right before COVID. I decided that I was leaving my job and I was actually going to do graphic design. So in that, I left the 401k, the health insurance benefits, and all of that. Even what you said about your story. We can look at finances as a scarcity mindset or an abundance mindset, right? You can think of things as two things. I'm going to create more income to use by saving money on my grocery bill or not going to Starbucks. Or we can think through, I'm going to find additional streams of income, right? And we're going to talk about both of that a little bit, but we always have, I want to start with the beginning of an entrepreneurial journey. What do you do when you do decide to take the massive leap of faith, to leave your job, go bet on your dreams? You've aligned with a great company or a great product or a great team, and you've decided just to go all in. And you do sacrifice the comfort of the benefits package to, I always say, right, you leave the 8 to 5 to work like 7 to 11. You leave like that to just work all the time. Right. But you get to do what you love to do, so that's different. But I want to start, first of all, even with the mindset of peace, the mindset of financial peace. Anytime in our life when we're seeking peace, what brings peace? And to me, I think when you're making decisions that honor your character and your goals, you ultimately live in peace. So whether that is employment peace, whether that's relationship, whether that's financial decisions, anything that you are choosing that honors who you are and where you're going, that's what's going to bring you peace. So what does that look like in finances? What does that look like in health insurance and life insurance and retirement? And that's what I'm going to dive through today, and how you can take that mindset, partner with the right people that are going to listen. And that's honestly why I do what I do and why I've specialized in helping entrepreneurs and business owners. Because I could just go out and help anybody, right? I'm an independent agent, but I've chosen to hone in on the needs of entrepreneurs because I resonate with that feeling of I love connecting with people who believe in themselves and bet on themselves and recognize that there's a different way. And so that's what I specialize in, is a different way. I am everything but a cookie cutter, and I want you to learn that you have options. And the power is connecting with someone that can simply present you your options and present it in a way that you can understand. Because you can go find a financial advisor that will speak above your head. If that's your cup of tea, perfection. I am not your woman. Because here's the thing, I think the other thing that brings peace is when you have understanding. If you know what you have, then you are confident that you're genuinely taken care of. There's nothing like having car insurance and getting in an accident and being like, I sure as heck hope I got a coverage that's going to really protect me. But if you have the peace of mind of, I know that no matter what, I'm going to have the protection that I need, then you just know that when you drive, nobody wishes any kind of accident would happen. But if it does, you know that you're going to ultimately be taken care of. Here's some reasons why financial peace may not exist. First of all, it is, number one, lack of financial education. Exactly what you just talked about, Tara. Nobody talks about it. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't just go around looking for PDFs or Zooms that are going to break down my options. We have 155 other things that go on with our lives. And the last thing we want to do is talk about something that just seems super confusing. If we can break down and get rid of the confusion, we can make it simple, then that ultimately gives you the education that you need to make the best decisions. And so, and people just don't know your options. And I don't know about you, but I thought, well, hey, if I need life insurance and I need to go drive up to some insurance brick and mortar office and go meet with a representative and find out my best options. But so that's the first thing, is the lack of financial education. Number two is we live beyond our means. And that's again what Terry, you completely just set it up for me just to go. Like you had all my points. Because here's why I think entrepreneurs especially live beyond our means. You were probably attracted to the journey of entrepreneurship by someone on social media. You probably saw a picture of a life that you wanted to live on social media, and someone like bait and switched you with the idea that you could build that dream yourself. And I say bait and switch because here's the deal. It's the best bait and switch, because they baited you into something that actually genuinely works. They've shown you their life and that they have what it takes to get where you ultimately want to go. But here's what happens. You just start making decisions too soon when you're just not quite there yet, right? We go and we have those splurge vacations and we go and do all that when we're just not really quite there financially, and we just have to pause it and say, I want to have financial peace. And what peace is going to happen is when I'm not worried about all of the charges for my vacation hitting at the same point of the month, right? It's learning to have discipline that ultimately sets you up for the life that you really want to live. But you've got to have that discipline first of all, right? It's just like building your business. As an entrepreneur, what's the secret to your success? Consistency and discipline. That's all it takes, right? It's who talks to the most people, right? Who is the most consistent? Who has the discipline to show up for their goals? How they say they were going to show up. It's the same way with financial peace. It's the discipline to say, I'm going to save this for later. Now, and it's not withholding, right? We can get emotions wrapped up into this and think that we deserve things too soon. Jessie Lee Ward was my business coach and mentor. If you're not familiar with her, go check out all of her content. Unfortunately, she passed away with a warrior fight of stage 4 colon cancer at the young age of 34. But she gave so much business wisdom in her 12 years of entrepreneurship, probably than anyone else on the planet. And something that she always talked about was not rewarding yourself before too soon, because then you create this mindset, which exactly what you just said, Tara, right? You start spending all of this money because you think you deserve it when you haven't set the appropriate goals in place. She was like cutthroat. She's like, I will not go to dinner with my friends tonight until I've recruited 2 people and I've hit this financial goal. And she said, guess what? If I didn't by 7 p.m. hit that goal, my friends knew I wasn't going and hanging out. What are most people going to do? Justify it. Of course, right? You're going to set the goal and you're going to justify it. And so what I love too is this, as you are learning to live within your means. What's something that motivates you? Maybe it is like this pair of shoes that you want. Set yourself a 30-day goal. I'm going to buy these $200 pair of shoes. If I do X, Y, and Z in this 30 days, then I'm going to get it. And here's the kicker. If you do not hit that financial goal, you do not get the shoes, right? Maybe it's a spa day that you're looking for. Go and schedule the spa day from 30 days out from right here, because that's something that you can cancel. And if you do not hit your financial goal in 30 days, guess what you're going to do? You are going to cancel the spa day, because that teaches your mind that guess what? I show up for myself. I do what I say I'm going to do, and I'm only rewarding the goals that I actually achieve. And that sets your mindset in this path. It may sound something like so simple, like a pair of shoes or a spa day. But ultimately, then this is going to become like a dream car that you want to buy. And you're not going to buy it until you have all the cash to buy it. Not 50% cash, not listening to somebody else tell you to go in to get a loan on the other 50%. No, you're like, no, I set a goal. I'm going to buy this car with cash, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. It's building that mindset to not live beyond your means. And I'm telling you, your success is found in the small wins. Your success is found in the small disciplines. It's not going to Starbucks when you maybe possibly could afford it, but you're like, this isn't necessary, especially in the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey. I was listening to Eric Rock yesterday, and he said that's literally what separates so many entrepreneurs, is that they are not willing to make those small sacrifices. Therefore, they don't build up on their wins. Maybe you have a big win in your business, right? And maybe you double the income that you've ever made in your business. Did you reinvest it in your business, or did you just go splurge all the extra double income that you made? And a lot of times
you need to reinvest.
Exactly, right? How can I grow this? How can I 10x this? Right? Maybe you 2x'd it and now you want to 10x it. Then take your 2x and invest it so we can 5x it, and we can 8x it, and we can 10x it. And that is a complete shift in your mentality. It's either I earn this so that I can spend it, or I can build it. And especially when you're a beginner, that mentality will break. You have plenty of time to splurge and to do all the things with peace of mind that you have everything else in order. And then number 3, why don't we have financial peace? Simply unexpected expenses happen. And that's what I want to talk about too, is how you can set yourself up to have a nest egg, have a cushion, so that when unexpected things happen, listen, you are not a product of your circumstances, you're a product of your decisions. You guys know the stress of an unexpected car repair when you don't have the money. It sends you in a mental, emotional tailspin. If we can decide that it is worth our mental strength to get this nest egg put aside so that no matter what comes along, you're like, guess what? I don't have to panic anymore. I am tired of living life in a panic spiral. The only way to do that is to decide to do something different. It's not just going to magically change. More money is not going to change things if your habits do not change. Because what happens if you are used to spending 100% of your paycheck at $3,000 a month and you get $6,000 a month?
You're going to spend 100% of $6,000.
That's the habit that translates over. The spending 100% of your paycheck is ultimately what's going to translate over, not the spending $3,000. No. Because now all of a sudden you're a $6,000 a month earner, right? You're all of a sudden a $10,000 a month earner. And you think that your lifestyle should represent that. But what I'm saying is stay at the $3,000, let that grow. And I'm going to teach you what we can do on the side to be able to continually grow that. Now we don't have to worry about the savings account and letting our money just sit. Because you guys know inflation is a thing. So inflation is actually, our money is not safe there. In fact, it's depreciating because inflation's going up. So if our money stays the same and inflation goes up, then we're technically losing money, even by putting it in a safe place like a savings account. That's why we ultimately don't have financial peace. And so I'm going to talk about 3 areas and some options and some solutions that you have to set yourself up for in these areas. First,
before there, I want to jump in on something that you said. You said number 3 is the unexpected expenses. I'm taking notes, by the way. So your unexpected expenses happen. Did you know, and I'm sure you know, but so I'm talking to everyone else, that I think the average is like 82% of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved up.
Exactly. $1,000 literally will overdraft your account. If you have you are one car repair away from overdraft. That is 100% true.
One bad month away from homelessness.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't realize how close they are to, if they lose their job, when you have one stream of income, you lose that one stream of income and you don't get anything back, no unemployment or whatever, you're 1 month away from homelessness, and foreclosures, bankruptcy, stuff like that. I just wanted to bring that point. So continue on.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that. First, let's talk about life insurance. It's like the least fun, so I'm going to start there and then we'll get to the fun part of retirement. Life insurance. Here's the beauty of life insurance. If you have one really good conversation about it, you're set up for the rest of your life. If you know what you have, you know what you need, then it's one conversation. It's not something you have to reevaluate often. And here's the thing. A lot of people say, I'll be fine. I'm just going to grow money. I'll do other things. I don't need life insurance. Perfect. Investing is great. It's great. If right now you don't have $15,000 in the bank account to cover if something happened to you in a car accident, I want you to imagine the stress that you feel over one unexpected expense. And I want you to multiply that times 1,000,000 and understand that's what your family would experience. I wish I could help emotional tragedy of a death. I can't do that. But what I can do is provide peace of mind to families that if the absolute worst of the worst ever happens, your family has the complete devastation, but they're not worried about where their next grocery bill comes from. They're not worried about how to give you a funeral. They're not worried about having to go to work 2 days after just to continue to put food on the table and to keep a roof over their head. They can grieve. They can experience the loss. They can figure out all of the loose ends, but financially they're taken care of. And there are so many options, right? There's term life and there's whole life. And the importance for you to know is that life insurance is based on 2 things. It's based on your age and your health. What you need to do is have an individual conversation. There is not one Band-Aid. Here's the fix-all solution. Here's your one lump sum payment of life insurance. It is different for everybody. Your options are different based on those 2 things. But what is great and what I love about being an independent agent is I can help the 20-year-old that's completely healthy and all the things get something set up for the next 20, 30 years of their life, or get a whole life policy in place. And then I also got to help a sweet 82-year-old woman who lost her husband 3 months ago going through chemotherapy for breast cancer. Both spectrums of things, I was able to provide financial peace, this peace of knowing that their family doesn't have to have the financial burden no matter what emergency happens. And not everybody gets in a car accident, yet we have car insurance. But again, the stats are 100% of people pass away one day. So your family will use this policy, right? And so here's the thing. Here's one thing powerful about life insurance. Something is better than nothing. You may want $1 million policy, and absolutely we can set that as a goal. But if we run quotes and you're like, oh, I really can only get the $500,000 policy, guess what? Get the $500,000 policy. Because what we can't do is we can't reverse the time. We can't go back and be like, oh, wait, she really could only afford the $500,000, but we didn't really go with the application yet, and then something happened, but she really wanted that, right? No. Get the $500,000, and then when your finances change, get the $50,000, right? Get a $15,000. Get something in place so that you know that the minimum is covered no matter what. Then as your finances change, guess what? We can go back and revisit things. We can add things on. We can increase it. I can never go backwards. I can always add on to your policy. What I want you to do is to get something that you can pay each month. If you're like, Jen, listen, there's no room in my budget. I want to tell you, you're the absolute person that I want to talk to, because you're the person that your family would have to start a GoFundMe to pay for your funeral. And I want to talk to you about establishing another plan so that no matter what happens, whether spending $20, $30, $40, $50 a month can actually give you more peace than you think that it can. You're thinking it's another bill, and I'm saying it's the peace that you need to know that your family will never have to have that devastation. That's life insurance. Again, that's going to be a conversation. That's a budget, a health, and an age conversation. And then second is health insurance. What happens, right? You leave your job. Now your family, you need health insurance coverage. And that's a major deal, because again, if there's any major deal, then you absolutely want to make sure that your family's covered. Again, that requires a conversation, and let's see what all of your options are. Health insurance changed a lot in the past couple of years, and actually it sides with you. So there's a lot of coverage. This is no political conversation, but thanks to Obamacare, we got rid of the fact that your pre-existing conditions aren't covered. So that it sets the ground level. Especially if you jump into entrepreneurship and you happen to have some medical conditions, people panic over, oh my word, what am I going to do now? I can't get covered. Yes, you can. And in fact, there are extra added subsidies to help take care of health insurance if you don't have any coverage provided by an employer, or maybe a spouse is still working, but that coverage is astronomical and you cannot afford it. You are eligible for other options. And just for you to know, open enrollment starts November 1st. November 1st through January 15th is the open window for anybody looking for health insurance. And what you want to do is get with an agent that can make sure that you navigate those best options. Let's talk about what means the most to you. Some of you guys care about drug costs. You've got prescriptions that are super expensive. Some of you have a primary care physician that you adore, and you absolutely want to make sure that that physician is covered. Some of you guys are like, all I care about is if I have to go to the emergency room, I want to make sure I have good hospital coverage. Perfect. Let's have a conversation. Let's see what needs mean the most to you. I bet Tara and I, even though we're in similar phases of life, still we would have different needs, right, related to health insurance. That's why you want to have an agent that's going to simply ask you the questions, make sure that you're getting covered what matters the most to you, and make sure you find something in your budget. Because not only is there health insurance, y'all, maybe there's cancer in your family. Like, did you guys know that there's cancer policies that sometimes are $15, $20 a month that would pay you $30,000 a lump sum if you ever got that tragic diagnosis? Like, could you imagine like knowing that you have that like in place? You pay it one time and that could come, it doesn't have to be used towards medical bills. Maybe it needs to go towards hiring a new nanny because you need extra help around the house, or paying your bills, or giving you time to step away from your job and focus on healing your body. Maybe a heart attack and stroke is in your family. There's plans for that. Dental and vision coverage, other hospital coverages, so that if you do go to the hospital, again, like the cancer plan, it pays you a lump sum no matter why you went to the hospital. They admit you, or it's an out of office procedure, or whatever that looks like. There are so many options. Being an independent agent, I get to simply ask you questions, find out your concerns, tell you what your options are, run you some quotes, let you just see what's even possible. And what I love most about it is what I do is personal. That's why I say I'm not a cookie cutter, because what's going to be best for you may not be best for the next person that I meet with. I'm going to give you the options. I'm going to listen. I'm going to quote you, and we're going to build something that best gives you the peace for your family. And lastly is retirement. So there are, again, you give up the 401k. So the first thing I want you to know is that if you have an old 401k with a job, definitely want to talk to you about the options that you have with that, where you actually have free options that there's no tax implications for you to roll that over to an account that no matter what the market does, right? You guys know, like with your 401k, you're riding the waves of the market. And just so you know, when you leave it with your old employer, there are fees associated with you keeping it there, okay? And so we're going to eliminate your fees, and we're going to roll it into an account that's no cost to you, that is illustrated to doubling in 10 years. Okay, so you eliminate ever losing any more money, and you just have this peace of mind of, okay, this is a new, fresh entrepreneurial journey. My old money that I've already tried to build, you tapped into that match with your employer, you did all the things. Now we're going to put that over and we're going to put that aside, and we're going to just let that grow. And you're never going to have to worry about what the market does again. We're going to let it do its thing and let it grow. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to talk about. Well, now moving forward, what are your other options? So our agency, what is great is we have multiple things. So most of that I specialize in is either growing a tax-free retirement options. Again, some of these are based on health. Some of them aren't. Some of them start at $50 a month. Some of them start at $100 a month. But I think you would be shocked to see that for a little bit of a sacrifice, you could start to build something. Because here's the power of, and Tara's witnessing this, as what it's like not to have something in place. Then you have to depend on everything. Listen, when you are 92 years old, the last thing you want to worry about is if you want it to be cooler in your house, you want to be able to have the ability to make it cooler in your house. And that may seem like something so small, but imagine just the peace of mind of knowing I worked hard in my prime of my life. I don't believe that. I don't even believe in an age and prime and all that. But work in my working years in life, and knowing that now you just don't have to worry about any of that. And to know that there are so many options for, I think, way less than you're even thinking just to get started. And again, start somewhere. Like, did you know that you could start an account for $50 a month? Like, did you know that for only $100 a month, you could start an account? And these are accounts that are building tax-free. Here's just kind of some insight onto that. Your 401k most likely was taken out pre-tax, which just simply means you didn't have to pay taxes on it before, right? They took it out before you got your paycheck, which just means that it works really well for the government because now they get to get taxes on all the growth that you have and what you put into it, okay? So you're gonna have to pay taxes when you start tapping into that at retirement age. But there are other options where we can start it out of your banking account. Simply means you've already paid taxes, right? You've already gone through and it's gone through payroll or gone through taxes. So we're coming out of your checking account. Therefore, we get to grow it tax-free. And I don't know about you, but any investment that I invest in, I hope that I'm putting in less than I'm growing, right? And so the taxes end up on the good side. It ends up on your investment, but your growth on that is all going to be tax-free. So lots of options. But again, we want to talk about which is why it requires a conversation. There's no just Band-Aid that fits for everybody. I want to know your financial goals. I want to know your budget. I want to know what else you have going on, what other things that you have working. How can we diversify? What makes the most sense for what you already have going on? Maybe you have a very high risk account and you're like, Jen, I'm investing a lot into these stocks and it's very high risk. I would love to know I could take 100,000 of this and roll it over to an account that's protected and just going to have peace of mind and growing. Right? There's not a one solution for everybody. It's let's see your portfolio, let's see what you've got going on, look at the options, look at some illustrations, and give you peace of mind of knowing that this is what I can look forward to. This is how I know that each month as I'm working, as my business is growing, that not only is my current life growing, but my future is growing. So that if you do want to have investment properties or you want to take a European tour, or whatever you want to do with your life, you have that built up and you have diversified. So you've got the life insurance for your future taken care of, peace of mind, your health insurance for anything that happens currently with your family, and then ultimately your retirement to build on. And there's also a lot of that you don't have to wait till 65 to even tap into. So that's another thing I say retirement, but a lot of these are simply other types of investments, from Roth IRAs to IULs, and even infinite banking concept, if you're familiar with that, where you become your own bank. There are so many options. The point is to find someone that you trust, to find someone that's going to educate you, and so that you know that you're taken care of and you have peace of mind that your heart and your goals are aligned with, and therefore that is ultimately what's going to bring you financial peace.